Hey there, Bill Hayes here, the host of Occudocs, the podcast. And don't forget to watch Occudocs, the short videos about what people do, because most people don't know what other people do, and they keep wondering what they could, should, and would be. So please join us again for Occudocs, and tell your friends and subscribe and hit that like button. Let me introduce my good friend, and known him quite a long time now, it seems, Dereck Whittenburg. Dereck, thanks for being here in the Occudocs studio with us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Bill, good seeing you as always. Last time I seen you, the first time I seen you was on the airport.
Oh, we'll have to tell that story. A quick disclaimer. We've known each other a while, and we made a film together thanks to Dereck's persistence, I must say. Dereck, let me a quick wrap up of Dereck's life real quickly. Dereck was a star basketball player, to put it mildly, and eventually played for the greatest high school coach ever, and number one team in the country, and then went to NC State, and again played for one of the greatest college coaches ever, and again won the national championship. Went off, played some pro ball, did a lot of coaching for some different people, and then for himself. Came back to North Carolina and settled back at NC State because it was just too much like home for him, I think, and they love him too much because he did help them win the national championship. But came back here, and he and his lovely wife started a foundation to really help people, because Dereck is going to explain to us how important scholarships are and how important education is, higher education. And if that wasn't enough to do, I mean, between there, he did some sports. Sports casting. So he got in front of the camera a lot because he knows a lot about the game, and people love to talk to him. And Dereck likes to talk, but maybe as much as me. But also he has written a book, which we're going to learn about, which is really a good book. Sorry, Dereck, it is a good book. It's a great book. But the stories he can tell and the experiences he has. It felt like he is one of my, it's personal with me with Dereck. He's one of my favorite. I'll start crying. He's really one of my favorite people ever, even though I yell at him and fuss at him, give him a hard time a lot. Maybe that's what you do with your best friends. But his story is really something to behold. So thanks for being here, man. It's
always great. Great anytime I can spend time. But you got this beautiful place out here that's peaceful and beautiful. Why you invite me out here earlier?
Right, I have for years, Dereck, by the way. It takes him a while to do anything. But so serendipitous life, right? We're on a small plane, three seats across. We're the largest people in the plane by far, and they put us right next to each other. And Dereck gives me this look like, you're taking up my space, man. What are you doing? And I'm like, who are you? What's your name? Oh, I know who you are. He's like, my name's Dereck. Try not to tell me who he is. So we talked from Raleigh to New York. Mm-hmm. And he bugs me the whole time. You got to make a story about, you got to do a story about my coach. And I'm like, that's not what I do. We make like Johnny K+8 and Sisterwood, blah, blah, blah. So that's not but he goes, well, just come. He comes and goes to my office in Carrboro, finally drags me up to D.C. to meet Morgan, and the rest is history. You meet one of the greatest coaches ever, and you're in his presence, and you have no choice but to drink his Kool-Aid, and the rest is, it was really.
But you forgot why I took to you.
Okay.
You had a quote from your high school coach. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Don't drink the ink. That's right. Coach Charlie, God rest his soul, our high school football coach, was don't drink the ink, meaning don't take yourself too seriously, and don't be reading your press clippings. Just keep playing ball. Mm-hmm. So Dereck and I quickly jived together, and then meeting Morgan and all the people in your community of Morgan, which is, it's just hard to explain. Morgan was a guy whose buddies were John Wooden and Red Auerbach and Dean Smith. This guy, he is on the holy grail of basketball. And hence, Dereck came up with the name, The Godfather. Called him in one of his, this is the Godfather of basketball. Well, you got to tell the story. And we captured that and made it the film, right?
Oh, what a film. And what a man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not just a good basketball coach, but a guy that cared about his players beyond basketball.
Oh, yeah.
We never talked about the actual winning. We never talked about that. We talked about the process of life, about working hard and being educated and being a part of a team. And that's what made him more special, because we wanted to not disappoint him, because we knew he cared about us. And that's the true sense of leadership in a coach.
So let's go back to the beginning. When did Dereck Whittenburg realize, or somebody realize, you were a pretty good basketball player?
Wow, I would say back when I was my early age, when I was playing in a boys' club.
How old were you?
I was 9 years old.
Wow.
9 years old, and I played all three sports. I was good at baseball, basketball, and football. And I started to get better at each sport, every season. And some of the coaches just drew to me, like Harry Carter was my boys club coach at 12 years old, and Mr. Carter, Mr. Butch, and all these coaches. Like, there's so many of them in every age league or weight class. You always have a different coach every season. Yeah. And so they believed in me. I continued to grow and believe in myself, and I had aspirations. And I learned that in order to get an opportunity to go to college, you got to go to a really good high school, and that's when DeMatha High School came into play.
That education you got there at DeMatha, though, beyond your basketball, I mean, Danny Ferry once said that Morgan was the greatest teacher he ever had. He went to Duke, and he said none of those guys at Duke even touched Morgan in terms of a educator, even in his history class.
Well, DeMatha Catholic High School was a stickler about discipline, and they wanted you to learn. It wasn't like, we're going to take this test, you're going to get this information, just take the test. No, they were a stickler about you actually learning the information and being a better student.
I think since this is Occudocs, we're trying to help people find their way in terms of what they want to be. The other thing to point out with people is you've got to know who yourself. You got to keep thinking about yourself and who you're going to find to help you, because you constantly we all need help. I think sometimes we forget, because it's so frustrating to find good help or a mentor, that how important that truly is to keep looking for those mentors and find them, because they can change your life.
It takes courage, and you have to be humble to ask for help, because if you need help, sometimes people don't want to ask.
But I completely, and it's so, we all need help, right?
Absolutely.
And trying to recognize that simple fact, it's tough sometimes for people to reach out and get help.
The best knowledge that we have today, even with social media, is that we got access to people that we can reach out to them by email. You can see positive information on social media, or a friend like yourself. You can reach out and ask them information about something. Listen, we don't know. That's why we hire lawyers and accountants and people who do podcasts and TV. If you are not, that's not your area, you have
somebody to help you.
You got access to help. Let people help you. And that's what I encourage with these young people. Even when I was coaching, I would encourage our young people to say, listen, if you're struggling and something's going on, you got to have somebody, ask somebody for help.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of asking for help and getting it, you and I are both products of scholarships, and I can't underestimate the value of scholarships. You academic, mine was more of a grant and aid, need, grades kind of thing. But I would have never gone to Duke without a scholarship. You probably wouldn't have gone to NC State without a scholarship. And you've taken that to heart by starting your own foundation to help provide scholarships. I love that about what you're doing.
Well, I love the fact that I was a first-generation graduate. You got to remember, neither one of my parents went to college.
Me too. And had aunts and uncles who went, but not my parents.
Yeah, but other than that, I think that it was important that we were going to go to college, but we didn't accrue a lot of debt. But that was the goal all in one. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to have that college experience. I wanted to be a graduate. That was a big goal of mine. What
did you get out of college?
Oh, I think I got, for one, the ability to communicate with people, numerous amount of relationships, the ability to process information.
Yeah, hold on. That numerous amount of relationships is just, it rolls off your tongue, but if I could scan it, the relationships you have from college fill this room and fill my whole property.
Well, I mean, it goes from Joanne Bird, who was the registrar at NC State. That's the one that finally tells you that you graduated, right? And she counted all your grades and everything.
You graduated?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Dr. Hyman and Dr. Brown, and I could tell you all my like 20 different administrators. Dr. Clark, that was the first black PhD at NC State. Dr. Wandra Hill, all those relationships. Those were people at NC State, other than the coaches. They told me that you're smart, you can do it. I want to see you succeed. Keep your head on straight. And it was maybe a 5-minute conversation, And that's what I enjoyed as I look back about my experience at NC State.
Being an African American, do you feel extra motivation to help other young African Americans, knowing that what's happened to you really, just what a difference it made in your life, and what opportunities are available, and the potential? You have a great scope of life thanks to your experiences, and see what's possible. And do you feel obligated to share that with young people?
I feel a huge obligation to do that, and I'm excited to do it, and that's why I came back to NC State to pay it forward, to give it back, because I had such a wonderful experience there at NC State. But I think the Whittenburg experience transcends race. It's not just because we're in February, we talk about Black History Month, that it's going to be easy for minority kids to look to me for guidance and for information and encouragement and empowerment. But I think throughout my life, whether it's February or every day and every month, I talk to so many kids from every walk of life. And that's what my wife and I enjoy about the Dereck Whittenburg Foundation. We got multiple kids that we support, and we take them as our own children. And we want to not just give them scholarships to help them finish college. We want to also empower them.
Give them a community.
And encourage them and be that resource for them if they need help finding a job or getting some information or being a reference. We want to stay connected to them. And the difference of that today is that's those transformational relationships that we grew up with in terms of a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
Meaning that I just want to use you for a day and I don't care about you. I want to give you a scholarship, but I don't have no relationship with you. That's not our policy here at the Dereck Whittenburg Foundation. We stay connected. We want to continue to help them in their journey in whatever way we can.
How many years now?
It's 10 years, going on 11.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Over 300 scholarships given, over $1 million worth of scholarship money. And we're excited about it. We think we're going to double that in years to come.
Well, your story, I could go everywhere direction, but I'll go back and try to be somewhat linear. So we know you're a pretty good basketball player at Morgan. You get to go to the high school. That is probably one of the best in America, period. And so how did you make the decision to go to NC State with your backcourt mate, Sydney?
It was an incredible story because I didn't really know I was going to go where my cousin was, David Thompson. I saw him Saturday morning, Raycom Sports on TV, and Norm Sloan with the colored jacket, and Storm and Norman, they called him. And my cousin had 38 points in a national televised game. I said, that's where I want to go, and that's NC State.
So quick thing here. David Thompson is your cousin,
yes.
First or second?
First cousin.
First cousin.
His mama was a Whittenburg.
He's my age because when I was in college, we watched him win the national title against UCLA, and all the Dukies were in our commons room rooting for David Thompson at NC State. He could pick a dime off the top of the backboard. When he fell, we were all, oh my gosh. But just the nicest person. I've gotten to meet him at your golf tournament, and truly, but spectacular. Was the rookie of the year even in the NBA, I think, and went on. He's just scored tons of points in the NBA.
First NBA player to make $1 million.
Was he really?
With the Denver Nuggets, yes.
Wow.
Had the first to make, he had the Skywalker shoe.
Yeah.
Before the Jordan, he had the Skywalker shoe. So he was our first in many ways in the NBA.
And one of our Uncommon Story series we've done about your other cousin, Charlotte Smith.
Charlotte Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in our series for great North Carolinians, we've profiled your cousin, who's the coach up at Elon, and was one of like the first or second women to dunk in a game and hit the shot to help UNC win the women's national title.
And our other cousin, Alvin Gentry, who was with Larry Brown in the 1988 championship when they won the national championship.
So you have four cousins who have won the national championship in basketball for different teams. Is that a record?
It's in the book. We'll read it. Read the book.
It's in the book. Is that a record? I mean, I don't know any other family that's got four members from the cousins who've all won national championships. That's it. You heard it here first on Occudocs, right? Not just about jobs, it's about history.
That's right.
Picking your job is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. Who you marry, what you do, and your friends, right?
Absolutely.
Those are those kind of things you build on or don't.
And you have to keep evolving and changing with the times. And like, for instance, I started off, I wanted to work at IBM, right?
Like James Brown.
James Brown.
Or Xerox. Was he a Xerox?
He was Xerox. And getting out of college, first I tried the NBA, didn't make the NBA. And I played in Europe 1 year.
Why didn't you make the NBA? You were an incredible shooter. Yeah. You could jump out of the gym.
Yeah, and I went and I got cut by the Phoenix Suns, but it didn't devastate me, right? Like most guys keep chasing. It's like, I didn't make it. I didn't go in the NBA. So I wasn't devastated.
You outscored Michael Jordan in a game, correct?
Yes, I did.
I mean,
every game I played against him.
Every game, Michael, sorry, buddy. Every game, Terry, oh boy, this is going to be mean.
Yeah.
But, to be that good and still not be able to play pro ball, did it hurt you? How did it feel? I mean,
well, initially.
How'd you get over it?
Yeah, it felt, believe it or not, I was disappointed, but I wasn't discouraged.
Do you think that's partly because of your incredible foundation with Morgan and your family?
Absolutely. I was mentally already prepared to, like, if this doesn't work, that I can be successful doing something else.
That's fantastic.
And that's what individuals should think about, that you have more talent and skills than you think you have. And I don't know when you're going to have to make that adjustment, but you can.
Yeah, how did you know that you wanted to be a coach, or that was something that would be in your wheelhouse?
Starts at DeMatha High School, not just the influence of Coach Wooten and my boys club coaches and all, and how I enjoyed the experience with those coaches, but we had the summer camp where I had an opportunity to coach young kids. So I had somewhat of an experience by coaching in the summer. So I enjoyed it, and coaching the little kids and basketball and everything with the camps, with Morgan's camp. And then I think it's just a way to stay connected to the game. If you're not playing, what's the best way to stay connected to the game? So I think that I enjoyed working with young people and the coaches. And I think that's what really ignited me to get in the coaching profession.
Yeah, you play for two of the best ever. And Morgan, very different, but so brilliant in their own ways. It's hard not to want to emulate somebody like that. I've met Morgan, and it's hard not to drink his Kool-Aid.
Well, I think the experience is how they treated you as a coach, made you enjoy your relationship, and also it made you more interested in maybe if something you might want to do later on. I'll tell you the story how it really started. I was cut with Phoenix Suns, and then I came back and went to school, and then taking graduate courses. And then Coach Valvano said, you ought to pursue basketball. So I went and played in Europe, had a successful year in France, played in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, had a wonderful experience there. The team had already started to build a team around me for me to come back. The Coach Valvano said, I got a coaching position open for you. I'd love for you to come back and help me start your coaching career. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. And that started my coaching career, and I called Coach Wooten and talked to him about it, and that's essentially how I started getting back into coaching.
What did you learn from Coach Valvano?
A man that's passionate about life, passionate about the journey. I turned this phrase in: a vision is a dream with a plan, and all things are possible. And you got to stick to it. And he was a big dreamer. He came to NC State thinking from day one we're going to win the national championship. He instilled us. He made us visualize by practicing cutting down the nets, right? To visualize something before it happens. And a lot of people don't visualize that this is going to happen, right? They don't know what's going to happen, but you got to visualize and make it possible. And that's what he did for us.
You know, we've started a nonprofit called See It to Be It. I should have a caricature of Jim Valvano up there, you know, as see, if you can see it, you can be it, because that's what he taught you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can see it, you can possibly be it, but you got to see it to be it.
You got to see it.
You got to visualize it first, and then you've got to work towards executing.
When I took my first head coaching job at Wagner College, they had never been to the tournament. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be the first. And I made our team at Wagner College practice cutting down the nets just so they can visualize it. And in 2003, we won their first championship and going to the NCAA tournament. It was, put that school on the map, and it was just tremendous.
What a great accomplishment.
Absolutely. And those kids, I still have a relationship with every one of those kids. They call me on Father's Day, during the holidays. Every one of those kids remember that experience, because I took a bunch of kids, I call them a bunch of misfits, right, from all over the country that didn't know their direction. And I made them better than what they were. And not just on the court, but 6 guys on the dean's list, the highest GPA, over 3.4 GPA in 4 years with those kids, and they won the championship.
Wow.
So I made them, I wanted them to maximize their potential in every area as a human being.
How did you make that transition from being a coach to being in administration? And would you call that your position, administration? I guess it is.
It is administrative, but I could probably start here when I was fired at Fordham University.
Uh-huh.
And I just had a fantastic year, 2 years prior to that. And I got fired, and I wanted to pursue coaching. But I sat out a year, 2010, and then I started working with ESPN. And I worked for ESPN, and also I produced the film Survive in Advance. And then in 2013, I got a call back from Mark Godfrey. They come back to NC State, and I always wanted to come back and kind of get close to retirement. And I was passionate about that. Then I'm like, I need something else. And that's when I started the foundation. I wanted to help juniors and seniors finish college. And I was excited about that. But that's when I got to a 10-year point. I said, I need to do something else. I would always get passionate about another transition, another project. It keeps me excited about something else, and something else is excited and new. Then I started the book.
What'd you learn about yourself writing this book?
Oh man, I learned that it's all about helping others. I'm working on my legacy, about how many kids can you graduate, how many kids can you help, right? And that's what's cool about our graduation, is that you see those kids, they don't know Dereck Whittenburg, they don't know my story, but all they know is they got an opportunity to finish college and to take the next step. That's what's cool.
You are such a product of Morgan and your folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference between being a basketball player, a coach, and what you do now?
Oh, well, I'm going to start from being an administrator first.
Okay.
Essentially, I advise student athletes.
As an associate athletic director?
Associate athletic director for student affairs and community services. I advise them to think life after they leave NC State.
That's a great role.
And because I wanted the very few athletes that didn't, to your point you asked earlier, that I won a national championship, I got drafted, I got cut. And instead of pursuing it, I went 1 year to Europe, then I came back to school and finished, and then I started my coaching career. So we want to get individuals, men and women, to think about life after sports. Or what is it you'd like to do if you didn't play sports, and what career would you like to pursue? So we try to advise them in that. And
you are uniquely qualified to do this.
So I try to mentally prepare them, and I tell them about my story. I said, listen, I got cut, and it wasn't very pretty. I mean, when they cut me, I got off the bus and they said, hey, man, you're no longer with us. See you later. So it's a brutal business the way you get cut, and then you're like, what do you do from there? So I had my degree. I was prepared to go into the coaching profession instead of taking a job at IBM, and I started my coaching career, and I did that for 30-some-odd years in a very successful coaching career, and then I had to transition from them. So I'm trying to prepare these. You're going to be 24, 25, and you're not going to be able to play sports, but you can have a wonderful career doing something, but you got to find out what your interests are, what you'd like to do. Do you want to teach? Do you want to go into the corporate world? So I tried to advise them in that.
So with young people today, and they wonder what they should be, what kind of advice do you have for them in general,
Well, first of all, I like to tell them that, first of all, believe in yourself. And second of all, get a plan. And the plan may change.
Most likely.
Yeah. And the third thing is that this is important. When the going gets tough, don't give up. So what our mantra is: dream, believe, work, now finish. Dream, believe, work, now finish the job.
And what does that mean to you, that finish?
Well, the finish part is that it's going to get tough. You're going to work at it, and things don't seem like it's going well, or you get into the crust of it, and you don't know which way to go. You got to finish it. You got to stay with it. Finish the job. If you finish it, you'll get over that hump, right? And you'll get to where you want to go. What you hang around is what you become. And I would tell young people, find the most successful people that you can and hang around them, right? Because
learn from them.
You learn from it, but you can't learn from it unless you be around positive people.
Right. So, Dereck, we have a camera operator here who is multi-talented and young and wondering what she's going to do with her many talents. How does she sift through the fact that she could do write, post-production, shoot, so brilliantly talented. So if you're a young person like Annika, what do you do with all those? How do you sort through which talent to choose?
It's you gotta really think about what's going to be your next step, right? And a lot of times people are afraid to take the jump, right? Whatever that next step is. If it's, do I want my own podcast? Do I want to venture out and work for a bigger company? It's more so the fear of taking the next step. I've always advised some young people. I got a young kid that I mentor that I made him leave North Carolina, and now he's like one of the youngest vice presidents at West Virginia State that it's in the country, Trey Jones, because he was afraid to be uncomfortable.
Out of his comfort zone.
To leave North Carolina and explore something that's outside his realm and it's work for him. So I would think most of it's fear.
So stretch your comfort zone.
Stretch your comfort zone and be uncomfortable about, you may have to, in order to get a better opportunity somewhere, you may have to move.
I think that's a great advice lesson for anybody, and it's a really hard one to execute, which is get outside of your comfort zone, because we all try to be comfortable, right? We want our house to be a certain degrees. We want to be, we got food in the refrigerator, lots of things, right? But we don't really learn until we get outside of our comfort zone, do we? Or we don't learn nearly as much.
Well, and there's opportunities out there, depending on what you're looking for in particular. And so those opportunities may be elsewhere to move up or to take advantage of another opportunity, like in coaching profession. So if I wanted to pursue being a head coach, right, instead of being an assistant, I started off as an assistant, or I started off as a camera person, and now I want to pursue going to a bigger company or going to a bigger school. Well, I moved from North Carolina to Colorado to West Virginia.
Different culture, not your
Georgia
friends.
Tech. And I learned along the way. And not only did I learn along the way, I gained more context. I got more information. I became more valuable. So you got to find your passion, take some chances. You got to be ambitious about what your track is. Like from assistant coach, I wanted to be a head coach. And from a head coach, I wanted to, when I got fired, I went into TV. It's something that I liked. I wanted to see if I liked, and I did for a while. But my ultimate goal was to come back to administration. Why? So I wanted to be a part of my university, right? So that's what drove me. That was a passion of coming back and helping my school. And in the midst of that, the next step was to start my foundation outside of what I was doing at NC State. So I'm constantly looking to for exciting projects or reinventing myself, and it keeps me passionate and fired up about my next moment, right, or my next opportunity. And my next one is the podcast. Like,
Right. You're doing a podcast. He's going to be doing a podcast.
I'm excited about that.
I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here for Occudocs, the podcast, with my very, very special guest, Dereck Whittenburg. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button. Again, Occudocs, the podcast, we're here to help you decide what you can be, and we're going to explore that through many other people's lens of their lives, with great life lessons with people like Dereck Whittenburg, who's certainly had some great life lessons to share with us today. I can't thank you enough, buddy. Just, make me cry. I love you so much.
Thank you.